Hello, FlossTube. This is Deborah, Science Knitster. Welcome or welcome back, and happy holidays or Merry Christmas if you celebrate. We certainly are. You can see, still have my Christmas decorations up, and I'm decked out for the season. So hopefully you will not hear my turkey roasting. I've got it roasting in a roasting pan on the counter over there. I can hear it roasting, but hopefully you won't. So the main thing I wanted to do today is show you my Christmas finishes and WIPs. So basically do a WIP parade, but just Christmas. On this channel, I mainly talk about cross stitch, but I enjoy other crafts like knitting. And I do have a little knitting to show you near the end today. Sometimes I also talk a little bit about science at the end, but I am not going to do that today. I will save that for next time. So let's get started with what is in my cup. So I normally have a cup of something while I'm recording these. This is my favorite Christmas cup. I can't remember if I bought it myself or if it was a gift. Or it might have been I bought it myself with a gift card. I'm not sure. Anyway, so today I am drinking some tea. It is Stash Christmas morning. We were up late last night. We went to midnight mass, didn't get home until almost 1:30, and we slept in a little bit, but I actually was awake before 6 o'clock and was kind of looking at Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. So I wasn't really sleeping. So I decided I needed some more caffeine this afternoon. So this is Christmas Morning by Stash, or they always do theirs both in English and French, I presume, because they sell in Canada. So it's Matin de Noël. And it's a blend of different black teas and jasmine green tea. Pardon me if I slurp. Okay, so first I wanted to start off with a finish. Since my last FlossTube, it actually is a Christmas finish, so it fits in with the theme of what I want to talk about today. And it is Merry and Bright by Luminous Fiber Arts, Misty Purcell. I stitched this on 40 count vintage country mocha using the called for DMC. And I think it turned out really nice. It is actually a companion piece to another one that I'm going to show. You can purchase this on Misty's site. She has a website, just luminousfiberarts.com, I believe. But it was also in the last year's winter/Christmas Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. So if you get that magazine, you already have this. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you my other Christmas finishes from this year. So these are just Christmas finishes from this year. And I'm actually going to, I have these arranged in the order that I finished them, but I think I am going to go ahead and show you that companion piece. So this was one I finished in July of this year, Comfort and Joy. And this was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine for 2021, I believe. So this is supposed to be a tufted titmouse, but here in Texas, or at least in central Texas into South Texas, our titmice actually have a black crust. And it may or may not be a different species from the one that's found in the rest of the United States. So I went ahead and made the Texas version. So both of, this is also stitched on 40 count vintage country mocha using the called for DMC. And I'm going to finish, I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish both of these as pillows. Or I might do them as hanging ornaments. But I'd kind of like to start doing some pillow finishes to make a bowl. I have a really nice handmade cherry bowl from when we lived in Virginia quite a few years ago, over 20 years ago now, that I would really like to put like pillows, seasonal pillows in. Okay, so what else did I finish that's Christmassy this year? So another recent finish, I think I showed this finished on my last FlossTube. I know I finished it the day I recorded my last FlossTube. So today actually is Christmas Day. And I finished this on the 17th of December, which was the last time I recorded. But just in case. So this is Darling and Whimsy's Quirky Quaker Gingerbread. Okay, next up. So now they're in the order that I finished them. This is Christmas Cat by Bent Creek. I do not know if this is still available. I had it as a kit for quite a while. And then I started it, I believe it was last year around Christmas or the year before, and finished it in July, I believe. Oh, and this one, it came with the chart and the beads, and you had to supply the fabric and the thread, and I did change some of the colors. I know I changed the color of the cat. This one, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna finish this one as a stand-up. That's the plan right now anyway. I had planned to do a bunch of finishing over the holidays, but I actually am going to be out of town to visit family. I haven't seen my dad since the summer before the pandemic. And my spouse can't come with me. He runs his own business. He's a flower farmer. And so he's going to stay here with our cat. And I'm going to head back east tomorrow and visit family for about 10 days. My brother, and then we're going to drive up and see my dad and my sister. And my stepmother, and I'm assuming we'll probably see the rest of her family too. Okay, and this is a Brenda Gervais that was a stitch along back, I believe in 2020. That I cannot recall if it's Minty and Mary or Mary and Minty. I think it might be Minty and Mary. But anyway, I stitched this on, it's either 36 or 40, I think it's 40 count Macchiato by Luminous Fiber Arts. And I used the called for overdyes and DMC. And this one, I am either going to finish as an easel back, or I might do it as a stand-up. Just I have to decide what to do up here. I'm actually thinking, in which case this isn't really a finish, of taking some of the motif from here, the poinsettia motif up here, and do a little bit of it up here so I could do like a rounded top finish, but I'm mulling that over still. And then this is from Pigeon Coop Designs. It's a Canadian designer. They're a Canadian designer. And this is called Festive Cardinal. And I bought this as a kit. It was their Christmas kit last year. And I'm going to finish it in the hoop. When I finished this in July, I could not find the hoop. I had misplaced it, but I recently found it. And if I weren't leaving town tomorrow, I would probably go ahead and finish it today or tomorrow. FFO it. Okay, so those are my like strictly Christmas, but I love samplers. And I did finish a green and a red sampler this year. So I'm going to show those just because the colors go. So both of these samplers are Hands Across the Sea samplers. And let's see. It doesn't look too bad. I forgot to bring something to put behind this, but I think the light is okay. So this one is Elizabeth Garrod, but I personalized it. Oops. I believe, if I remember correctly, it's a Welsh sampler, but I personalized it since it's green, and it was part of a stitch along that started in March. I personalized this for my great grandmother who was born in Ireland. And I stitched this on a 36 count linen. What is this? It might be Vintage Country Mocha. It doesn't look like it. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest. I forgot. I can look it up. And I used Vicki Clayton hand-dyed fibers, silk, and I don't remember the color, but it was a color that I picked from her website. And then this one is Florence Law, that I personalized with my own info. And this one, this is stitched on the same fabric. But for the life of me, I can't remember what it is, but it's a 36 count. I do remember that. And I also stitched this with Vicki Clayton hand-dyed fibers. This one was a limited edition red called Breadwork Red, which I bought a ton of. So that's my green and my red samplers, because you got to have samplers. So let me see if I can look real quick and find one of those and see. So I've got my X Stitch app in the journal. Oh, okay. It was Zweigart Antique Ivory, and the the hand-dyed fiber color is Flapper of Fact. Okay. So those are my finishes for this year that are either strictly a Christmas finish. Now the piece is a Christmas piece, or the colors are Christmassy. So now for the WIP parade. I have these organized in the order of how long they've been in my WIP pile, so to speak, with the oldest one first. So these are ones you may not have seen before or may not have seen in a while. So the first two, I'm not quite sure which one is the oldest. I believe it's the one that I'm going to show you first. Okay, so this one is Bent Creek Cheer. So it was one of their little zippers, and comes in a little pouch. So the chart is inside here, and it came with the fabric, and this is, I remember if this is a 25 count fabric. And it also came with a pack of mainly overdyes. Oops. So they came packaged like this. This is DMC and overdyes. And I don't have a very big start on this. And then I just realized, let's see. So I'm working on, obviously, some of the gray here, and I have to remember if it's this way or this way. Might be this way. I'll be able to tell by folding it, because this one I started from the middle, but I realized that the instructions say to use 3 strands, which I did for the gray. But for this white that I had started putting in whenever the last time I worked on this was, which I don't remember. It might have been last year, it might have been the year before. So I need to take that out and use 3 strands. Okay, so that's Cheer by Bent Creek. I don't know if this is still available. They had some other sheepy ones that I think were seasonal. And I know Bent Creek had a like a trunk show, a virtual trunk show with Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube earlier this year. And I don't remember seeing this in there, but maybe they didn't show everything that they still publish. You know, that's still like you can, your store can get. Okay, you know, and then this one, I'm just going to be able to show you the stitched piece. It's this next one is, let's see, who is the designer? I can't show you the printout. It's M Designs, and it's called Peace Tree, and it's stitched with, sorry for the mess, thread gatherers, silken colors. I really need to tidy that up. And then there's some beads and a treasure that go on it. Why can't I show you a picture? Because this is from the, which one is it? Just Cross Stitch Ornament 2004. And those are still packed away from when I moved back to Corpus Christi from Brownsville. And so I can't get that out and show it to you. But I can show you the stitched piece. Oops. Okay, let's see. So it's called Peace. And so the actual piece itself, P-I-E instead of P-E-A, is a tree in the shape of the word peace, right? This way and then this way. And this is over one on, let's see, does it say what fabric to use? Photos on page 15. Okay, so it's, what's called for is 30 count coconut macaroon legacy linen. I am not sure, by Access Commodities, I'm not sure that's what this is. But it's stitched over one. And I haven't worked on this in a couple years, since before the pandemic, I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. They also did one like the year before, the year after, that's Joy, that's in green. So this color is, just in case you're interested, in the burgundy. So I have that other one also. How do I have this and not know what the fabric is? Because in 2004 and 2005 and maybe 2006, I was getting kits of 12 of the ornaments from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament, the annual Just Cross Stitch Ornament magazine, kitted up by my then local, well, not so local, my former local needlework shop, Ginger's Needle Arts and Framing, which unfortunately closed a number of years ago. So this is something I really would like to get back out and work on some more. I normally stitch in hand now, left-handed, even though I'm right-handed. But something like this, I know I do better if I work on it in a frame or a Q-snap. And I have one that's the right size for that. Okay. The next oldest one that I have sort of worked on this year and you saw recently is Bent Creek's Uber tree, Uber Christmas tree. And the work that I've done on it this year is frogging. I had a snowman in the wrong place. I may work on this today a little bit. I haven't decided. I had this in a scroll frame, but I think lately I've been working on it in hand. But I might try to work on this a little bit today, just to get some stitches, some actual stitches in it this year. So I'm stitching this on, I believe this is an 18 count natural linen. And I'm using, let's see, I'm using mainly the called for pearl cottons. So I did switch out a few of them because I wanted to use pearl cotton, and some of the colors were from overdyes that are not available as pearl cotton. So I just didn't feel like laying 6 strands of floss, especially when some of them I was definitely already doing in pearl cotton, so I didn't want to mix them. It's my personal preference. Okay, this next one, I believe I started this one, it might have been the same year as that one or the year after. This is a little Mill Hill kit, one of their little cross stitch and bead kits, called Ruby Frost. And this is a number of years old. I had it in my stash. So this came out in 2011. And here's where I am. So got quite a ways to go yet. Not quite halfway. So I've been putting in the beads as I go. The beads and everything just come in a little bag, so I actually got a little bead container. So this is a little, I think I bought this at the Container Store. It's got a little screw cap. I used to do a lot of bead weaving to make jewelry, my own, for me, and family and friends. So I have little doodads like that, little container. Okay, this next one has been partially finished for quite a while. And actually, I'm done with the floss, so I can probably put this back in my stash. So this, another one I can't show you a picture of because it's from was another one that was from just cross stitch. So this would have been from the 2005. It's called Holly Noel by Homespun Elegance. And this is using the called for supplies. Where did it go? Here's that. So it's a pillow. So the stitching is mainly done. I still have to stitch the button. So there's a button. I got somewhere. Got it somewhere. Here it is. That comes with the pillow. And here are the threads. So it's all Weeks Dye Works. And these are the called for colors. But I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the finishing before I sew that button in. The instructions say to use a ribbon, and I don't understand what you're supposed to do with the ribbon. I've seen the picture, but I don't understand how the written instructions that came in the cross stitch magazine actually translate into what I see in the picture. Plus, I don't have a ribbon that's really the right color. I had this ribbon, but it's a little brighter than what I wanted. So what I was thinking, actually, is I have this fabric. This is a Thimbleberries fabric from a number of years ago. Is cutting out a square and basically appliquing it in here. And then, so it looks something like this. course, tidied up because I cut it the right size and everything. So you wouldn't see white back there, but you would see this fabric. Then sewing the button in, and then maybe make some cording so it could hang on the tree or on something. Or maybe not put a hanger on it, but then put it in my bowl that I want to make. That, you know, my bowl of stuff that I want to put together. So let me know what you think. Do you think that would, I think those colors go. The background color on this flannel, I think, is a good match. I don't think that would be too busy. I should just do it, you know, because if I don't like it, I can just take it out. Because I could cut it to the right size before I actually do the applique and see if I like it. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Actually, I'm going to leave those out. So I'll do the applique with actual sewing thread. Okay. Now we're getting into things that I started during the pandemic and still haven't finished. So this one I started in April 2020 when it came out. So it came out during the Nashville market just before lockdown. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And it's the Little House Needleworks Kringles. So I'm using all the called for colors. So it's a mixture of DMC and overdye. I'm actually missing one of the overdyes. I think I borrowed it for something and it did not come back. I haven't used it yet. It's Classic Colorworks Weeping Willow. I need to buy some for another project anyway, so I might just get 2 skeins and that way I don't have to keep looking. So here it is. So I'm actually, I am not stitching this on the called for. I wanted it to be smaller and I'm actually going to make it into a quilted wall hanging. So yes, I know my margins are very narrow. So basically all I had done was most of this over here, not even all of it. And then I picked it up. I was going through things to prepare for this video. Excuse me. Still have a little bit of cough from whatever it is. I don't know if it's allergies or I had a cold but never felt sick. I know I didn't have COVID because I took a test. So I think I had most of this done, but I went ahead and went across because I wanted to get all the windows in. So all the windows are in. I've got the first 2 rows of bricks, and there is a mistake in the second row of bricks, so I need to remember to not count from that one when I go down. But I wanted to get down there and start working on some of the windows. So some of these windows here in this top row, and then also start putting in the brick on the sides there. And then I can always just, when I want some mindless stitching, fill in the mortar. So far I haven't filled in the mortar. So I think this was called for to stitch on 32 count linen, but like I said, I wanted it smaller, and I want to make a 30 count. And I want to make a wall hanging, quilted wall hanging from it. So I'm stitching mine on 40 count sterling by Picture This Plus. So it's got a slight blue-green or greenish cast to it. which it's not, maybe about there. I was picking it up a little bit. But I think it looks good with the colors. So this is what my my then local needlework store in in Harlingen, Texas. Judy's Needle Nook, which unfortunately is closed now. She retired. But this is what she had that I thought looked good with the floss. And I had Judy pick this up for me and the floss pack. The only change I'm making is since I am stitching on 40 count linen, I decided instead of the Kreinik that's called for, which is one of the braids, I can't remember which one. Oh no, it's not a Kreinik, it's a Versoix size number 4, which is a gold. I'm going to use Kreinik blending filament. I think that will work better on this 40 count. And you're supposed to stitch it with a floss. Okay, so this is obviously a multi-year project. I had not worked on it this year. I sometimes used to work on it like on the 25th of the month, but I hadn't worked on it this year until I was going through things and found it. It's like, oh, why haven't I worked on this? And it actually wasn't like, it wasn't in a box or anything. It was out so I could easily work on it if I wanted to, and I just never did. I don't know why. So I put some good work into this. And then I know this next one I started in May 2020. And this is Merry Manatees by Lindy Stitches. And I mainly am using the called for. So it's a mixture of overdyes and DMC. So here's the floss. Except for Buttercup that the fish are stitched in because the fish are so small, and I decided just to stitch them in the DMC. So I'm stitching this on 28 count rather than 32 count. The called for is 32 count. And I'm stitching it on Ariel by Picture This Plus rather than Sterling by Picture This Plus. I wanted it to be more blue. So I haven't worked on this one in a while. This is another one I often pick up for Merry 25 stitching. And it's one that I could easily finish, I think, if I would just pick it up and do it. I think I'm more than halfway done now. But yeah, I need to. This one needs to come out more this year. It's really cute. I haven't decided if I'm going to finish it as a drum. I think I will. I just need to learn how to do drum finishing. So that was Merry Manatees by Lindy Stitches. Thread bed that needs to go back where it belongs. Into crinkles. Okay, this next one I have shown recently because I've been working on it, and that is Feliz Navidad by Blackbird Design, which I will probably work on some today. This is the main thing I work on the 25th when I remember that it's the 25th. So I'm using all the called for. Somebody recently posted on Instagram, posted a finish of this, and it was beautiful. I'm using all the called for. This is 36 count legacy linen by Picture This Plus, and I'm using the called for Weeks Dye Works. So if I hadn't gotten, if I hadn't done lots of new starts this this December, I probably could have already had this finished. But I'm thinking about taking this with me on my trip and trying to finish it while I'm away. Or not. I need to decide by tonight. But I'm enjoying stitching this one. Oh, I didn't show the threads. Here's all the thread. A little bit messy there. Okay, and at one point I had counted these to see how many I had, and I got up to like 12 or 14, and then found a couple more. Okay, this one I started, let's see, is there a, I'm sorry, I don't have a good printout of this one. Oh, actually, I can show it. I can find it on, I have it as a PDF. Let me see. This is another one by Luminous Fiber Arts. This was her her mystery, Jingle Jolly Joy. Her mystery from 2021, I think. Yes, 2021. So let me find it here real quick. Okay, so here's what the full thing looks like. Jingle Jolly Joy by Luminous Fiber Arts, Misty Purcell. And it is available on her website and through your local needlework store. So here's mine. I am stitching it and using, I believe I am using all the called for. Yeah. So I am stitching this on 40 count opulence. It calls for 32 count in the pattern, but I'm using 40 count, and I haven't worked on this one in quite a while. So this is, opulence is a, was a fabric that Misty dyed, and it's coming out a little bit washed out. It's a nice golden, excuse me, a nice golden color. And the colors are a mix of Overdyes, Classic Colorworks, and DMC. And I'm using the called for colors. I'm going to do mine horizontally rather than vertically, and do it as a little easel back that I can put on my mantle, or wherever my Santa collection ends up. Sometimes my Santa collection, the collection of Stitch Santas ends up on my mantle, but this year my nativities are on the mantle, and my Santa collection is in the, excuse me, is in the foyer. I have shown those before. I'll try to, I forgot to look. I'll try to put in the description which of my floss tubes has the, my Santa collection in it. Okay. This next one was a start that I did last last Christmas Eve day. So So it's basically a nativity or nativity-like. It's Little House Needleworks. This is my joy. Okay, and mine's going to be closest to this one here. I am stitching it on 36 count opulence. So that same goldeny color. And I'm using Belle Soie collard greens. So I think I picked this up last year in like January, or this year, like January, February on the 25th, and got all the way across here so I could start working over here and get actually to the manger. So this is one, I think I need to put on my let's get this finished list. So this one I plan to finish as a little easel back so it can be on the mantle or wherever my nativities are. I actually have a nativity. I showed my nativities last. I have one stitched nativity that I showed last year, as well as the nativities in my stash. Okay. Now we're getting into things that I have started this year, instead of finishing the things I already have. It's like, I just want to stitch all the Christmas this year. So first up is, Jingle Round the Block. And actually, I think this one and the next one, I started around the same time, and I actually think I've started the other one first, so it's like a day older. But this is the Jingle Ball piece for the class that Kathy Haberman taught at the Jingle Ball, hands-on design. And I don't think I am any farther along than I was last time. So I'm using the called for DMC. I'm using the called for fabric. And I got the fabric for the top. I get to choose which one I want. And I have the pins. I think I showed these last time, so forgive me. So this is an antique white. It's whatever the called for is. Somewhere here I have it. Antique white Pichelle, so 28 count. And no farther along than the last time I showed this. I don't think. Let me check real quick. No, I haven't worked on it in the last week, so. Nope. I mainly worked on Merry and Bright, and then mainly Kringles until I had a few new stars that I'm going to show at the end. Okay, so this is Jingle Round the Block. So I need to finish this so I can do the finishing. Okay. A few more. Okay, the other one from the Jingle Ball is the Blue Flowers Candy Cane Biscornu. And again, I am no farther along than the last time I showed this. I am stitching using the kit. I bought the kit, so it's I'm using the DMC There's also an overdye from Cottage Garden, called Candy Cane, that I can use to make another one. So there's enough material in the kit that I purchased. So this is for 2. So here's where I am. And this is the fabric that came in the kit. So it is 32 count sparkle gray with silver linen from Zweigart. And that's where I am. You can see it's going to be like that. So this one I am taking with me because I want to finish it so I can do the finishing before I can no longer access the recording of the class. I did attend the class and I listened, but I'm going to watch the video again, take some notes, and then hopefully have time to watch the video one more time while I'm at least sewing the biscornu new together. I haven't decided if I'm going to bring all the supplies to completely finish it or just enough to do the sewing part. Okay. This I started Friday night, I believe. Yes. This is Winter Sampler by Little House Needleworks. This has been in my stash forever. This came out in 2007. I may or may not have bought it in 2007, but probably not long after, because I love anything with gingerbread. When this came out originally, when I bought it, it came with a packet of Belle Soie, then owned by Classic Colorworks. Crescent Colors. So here's all the Belle Soie that came in a little packet. And I am stitching it on the called for 32 count light mocha, which I had with this. So I've had it kitted up for a while. I don't remember if I bought the linen. So this is 32 count light mocha by Zweigart. I don't remember if I bought the linen when I bought the chart. I don't think I did. I think I bought it later. So I started this Friday night, not long before I went to bed, and then stitched on it a little bit Saturday morning before I picked up Kringles again, and I mainly worked on Kringles. So there it is. I believe this is now available chart only, and it's actually, she actually had 4 of these. They were seasonal because this is the winter sampler. Even though to me it screams Christmas. I would not have this out past Christmas. But there was also a spring one, a summer one, and a fall one, which I'm surprised I didn't purchase, because normally for seasonal things I used to purchase like all the seasons. But I did not for these. But I do believe they are now available. All 4 of them are available chart only. So you'd have to supply your own Belle Soie or whatever you wanted to stitch them with. Okay, so that was my Friday night start. So the 22nd. Didn't start anything new on Saturday, the 23rd. I refrained. I thought about it. Yes, I did not. I mainly worked on Kringles. And then last night, Christmas Eve, actually late in the afternoon, I decided, I was, looking at these things I've already showed you, and realized, oh, I started a nativity or nativity-like piece on Christmas Eve day. Maybe I should make that a new tradition. So I had purchased a couple of nativities from a New Creation Studio I think she was having a sale at some point earlier this year, or maybe it was last year. I forget when I purchased these. And I decided I didn't want to have to spend a lot of time kitting something up. So I got this one out, since all it does, it just calls for DMC 3865. This is from when I used to bobbinate. And I decided to stitch it on some 36 count indigo by Luminous Fiber Arts. I'm really sad that Misty's not going to be dying anymore, but I totally understand. So this is indigo, and I'm using, so it's going to be like this, and I'm just going to do it as a little little easel back so it stands up and can be on the mantle or wherever my nativities are. But yeah, so that's DMC 3865. There's also some beads on it, and the chart says they're optional, so I'll see. I probably have something in my stash that's suitable. So using a number 11 beads on 32 count in the model. And I know I have a bunch of 11, and there might be something suitable. I'll have to see how it looks on the 36 count. I may just leave them off. But that one's, it's small enough. I could probably finish it in a day if that's what I worked on. And you'd think that's what I would work on today. But no! I started something else a couple hours ago. Or actually, what time is it? After lunch. I started something new after lunch today. Because I wanted a Christmas Day start. Now, the last couple years, I've started a sampler on Christmas Day. And I may start one tomorrow. Because it's Hands Across the Seas anniversary. Or I may not. Because I know I'm going to start one on January 1st. And I have to bring it with me so I can do that. But instead, I started this piece that I saw on Instagram. And I actually started watching her FlossTube also. Quaint Rose Needle Arts. I am stitching this using all the called for. I do have to get a couple more flosses. Fortunately, I got a gift certificate to 123 Stitch from my dad. Thank you, Dad. So I need to place an order so it's here when I get back. So I'm using the called for 40 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart. Okay, I need to make sure this is upside right. So here's my little start. So I'm either going to work on this for my stitching time today, or I may work on Kringles some more. I also need to pack for my trip. So here's the called for. It's all Classic Colorworks. I said I do need to pick up a couple more. But I will not be bringing this one with me. I don't know what the lighting situation is going to be, so I'm not bringing anything that's on 40 count. Although I am bringing a light with me, so I could, but I'm also trying to travel light, so I can just do a carry-on. Okay, so that's it. That's my Christmas WIP parade. I had thought about also including things I had kitted up, but decided between my finishes and this, that would be long enough. And we're coming up on an hour because I can talk. But I did want to show you one more thing, and that is some knitting that I picked up again. So these are a pair of little ankle socks. I do knit my socks 2 at a time, unless there are some that just because of the way the pattern is, you can't do two at a time on two circular needles. So you're not into knitting. Circs are circular needles. So I am working these. So these are called Rose City Rollers. The pattern, the pattern is available on Ravelry, perhaps elsewhere, I'm not sure. So I am knitting these with my favorite over-dyed yarn, Hazel Knits by Hazel Knits. Let's see, let's grab one of these. So the main color is this one here. Let me get it out of here. This is how I keep my yarn corralled. And normally when I'm knitting two at a time, I have a little bag that has like pockets to make it easier. 2 pockets that are designed for 2 at a time sock knitting. But this bag is too cute. So this bag is by Dancing Sheep. I'm not sure what she has in her shop right now. Excuse me. Sorry. That's what happens. I have cough asthma. So whenever I get any kind of upper respiratory thing, I end up having coughing fits. This is called Jubilee, and this is on their artisan sock base. Hazelknits is in Seattle. They have a website, hazelknits.com. I highly recommend. If I remember correctly, somebody, this was a club color that I did not buy originally, and somebody graciously sold it to me quite a few years ago. I think 2016. And then this is, so I'm going to use this for, I used it for the cuff, little rolly cuff here. And I'm also going to use it at this toe. I was thinking about using it for the heel flap, but I decided to let the stripies go. And I forgot what this color is called. I have it in my Ravelry. If you're interested, you can check on Ravelry. But these were club colors, so they're not available again. She doesn't, I don't think she does a club anymore. She hadn't in quite a few years. And I wasn't doing much knitting. So I haven't really checked. But so you can see it's really cute. Yeah, so these are like little ankle socks, which I really like to wear, especially in the winter time. Like wear them around the house with some, excuse me, with some Birkenstocks. Okay, so that's all I have. So again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Tomorrow is Boxing Day and Kwanzaa. So if you celebrate one of those, happy Kwanzaa, happy Boxing Day. Excuse me. And as usual, I leave you with my usual parting. Please take time to be kind to yourself and always be kind to your neighbor. Have a wonderful day.